What's up, MOMnation? It is Real Estate Katie over here, and I am back with another Live and Learn. Diana, I think this is probably like our 1,000th Live and Learn. We have done so many, and we have talked to so many amazing mama members of our group, entrepreneurial moms, moms that have specialized skills to teach or specialized knowledge to share. It's just been such an incredible journey, and I'm really stoked because we have never discussed this particular topic in this way before. So I'm really excited to have you on. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And I'm super excited to also be a new member of your community. You guys have a lot of great things going on, and I'm so excited to be a part of it and to share, but also to learn myself. So thank you for having me.
Yay. Well, welcome. We're so happy to have you. We love welcoming new mamas and their expertise and everything that they have going on. We love it. So thank you so much for coming in. And then let's just jump right into it. And I, again, love this topic because I feel like it's a discussion that I have quite a bit. And I feel like I see a lot of posts from our moms in the group about it. And it's really like, how do I become my own boss? How do I go from working in the corporate world or working for the man, whatever you want to call it, and move into my passion or turn my hobby into an income producing business? And this is what you do, right?
Yes, this is what I do. This is what I do. And I have to tell you, last night, as I was kind of preparing and kind of brainstorming about what I want to talk about, I sat here and I thought, moms, whether we realized it or not, we were born to be CEOs.
Yes.
We are multitaskers. We are leaders. We handle everything. We have to make sure that everything is in order. And whether you're a stay-at-home mom, CEO, stay-at-home mom, working from home, handling all of the family responsibilities, or you're working in a corporate job, or maybe you're doing both.
Both. Yeah.
You are a powerhouse of a woman. And if you have ever had the idea or the desire, or just imagine for a moment that what are the possibilities that I could create something on my own, build my own business, and be my own boss. And I say to you, yes, you absolutely can. There's no reason why that you can't. There's so many opportunities for you to grow and to start. And you can start with what you already know. Mm-hmm. People are looking for that knowledge. It's a golden nugget that they're waiting for you to release to the world. So I say, yes, go for it.
Oh, I totally agree. And I agree it's a very exciting time. And I also can relate with, being a mom, obviously, because I am one, and working, obviously, because that's what I do. But I can relate with wanting to bring more value to ourselves as individuals, because I feel like we, get married or we don't, whatever. And we end up having children, and we kind of inevitably lose a bit of ourselves in that. And so I have these conversations a ton with moms that are like, I don't even know who I am anymore. So let's start at the beginning. If you were talking to me and I was sharing with you, hey, I don't even know who I am anymore, kind of lost myself through this whole motherhood journey, grateful for it, love it, yay. But I want to bring value to my life and feel valuable. And, I'm kind of thinking about maybe starting my own business. So talk me through how you would guide me at that point.
Okay, I love this. When I work with clients and when I talk with friends or family members, I call this my creative chat session, because we peel back the layers. And what I start to ask is, what do you love to do? What lights your fire? What fuels you? If you had the perfect day in the perfect world, what would you enjoy doing every day, sharing with the world that you would never get tired of? And jot down, if you're not sure, if you have a lot of ideas, just begin by jotting down ideas that you have, things that you really enjoy, things that you're good at, maybe things that sometimes I figure that there are things that I took for granted and I thought, nobody cares about that. It's just because it came so natural to me. But there's other people that go, I don't get it. How do you do that? You're so good at it. So that is something that you could start with. And one thing I tell people is that you want to write down ideas and look for patterns. So if you're not sure where you want to start throughout the day, kind of make notes of what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, and then make a little note of it. And after about a week, go back to your notes and look for the patterns. You'll find that you're very artistic, or you're very crafty, or you're good at cooking, or you're good at organizing. Or maybe, you do your daughter's hair every single day and you're very good at braids. You may be a hairstylist in the making. So these are all ways that you can start to tap into your creative flow and discover how you can create a business from what might have been a hobby, or how to kind of just bring all of those dreams and passions to fruition and create a business from that.
And now I feel like that's the hard part. Like, I feel like that's where people get a little hung up. Two things. The one, figuring out what I really want to do, because I don't know, I'm indecisive. And do I really want to put I know it's going to take a lot of work. I know it's going to take a lot of time. How do I make that decision, first of all? And then I feel like the second sort of hump to get over that might create some fear in people, and therefore maybe they just don't end up taking the plunge, is how do I go from hobby, or, hey, like, let's choose an example. I'd like to refinish furniture. How do I make that jump? So how do I decide what I want to do and put time and effort into, and really am confident about that decision? And then how do I make that jump?
That's a great question. So I encourage people, if you have an interest that, for instance, it's a hobby that you possibly want to turn into a business, just kind of see how much time you spend doing that. If you get bored with it, or if it's something that you like to do leisurely, or if it's something that you could continue to do every day, and then grow from it, and then eventually maybe even teach somebody, that would be a good place to start. But again, I always go back to what are your passions? And even I go back as far as, what did you love to do when you were a child? Like, go back to playtime. Go back to playtime, because that inner child is going to tell you, this is what we're good at. This is what our spirit wants to release. And I think that would be a good place to start. And if you are already involved in a hobby, think about how much time you already spend on that hobby. A lot of people may not realize that they spend 20 to 30 hours on their hobby and don't realize that they could easily transform that into a small business, showing people or helping someone else set up their hobby. So that would also be a good place to start. But again, I would say, write down, just make a list of things that come to mind that you just really enjoy doing, and just look for patterns. Success leaves clues.
It sure does. I love that quote. And I feel like, what just ignites that fire? What are you excited about? What could you see yourself getting excited about, getting up early in the morning to go and do? Right?
Right. And then the other thing is that it doesn't have to be permanent. If you try something out and you think, I think I would be good at this, try it. Try it for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and see how you like it. If eventually you think, no, it's not really for me, but there is something inside that experience that is leading you to where you're meant to be next. It's going to open up a new door. And eventually it's all going to come to light, and you're going to go, I got it. It started with this, and then I started creating this. I was also later introduced to this because I was curious. So just follow your curiosity, and I think that you'll start to see a whole new world open up to you on the possibilities.
I love that. And do you feel like fear can be a factor in that decision making, where I'm afraid of being criticized, or I'm afraid that I'm not going to match up to XYZ, or I'm not going to be able to remain consistent with it? So do you feel like it's important to kind of do your best to separate those feelings of fear from the desire level that you have to do the thing?
Absolutely. I, not just myself, but everyone who's ever started anything has begun with some sort of fear, or maybe even imposter syndrome, maybe not having enough confidence because we haven't had enough experience or enough positive feedback. And so that can kind of put a pause or instill that fear. I'm not sure if I should continue. Nobody seems interested. I'm not getting family support like I really expected to. I should just give up. But I say, if you have that fire in your belly that says, I really love to do this, then I encourage you to explore, because another great quote is that every great master was once a student. We all began somewhere, and nothing, even we all strive. Well, I'm guilty of striving for perfection. I want it to be good enough. I want everybody to love it. But a masterpiece is a masterpiece, and each individual person in the eyes of the beholder, and it can always be better. So just practice and put yourself out there and explore. I love the world of creativity because it doesn't have to be perfect. Right. What you see is going to be different from what somebody else sees. And what I've also learned in the world of business, that you will find that your biggest supporters may not come from your friends and family. True. Because they're trying to protect you. They're trying to, play it safe for you. But if you want to roll the dice on yourself, then the best thing that you could do is explore what you know that you are capable of doing, and then find the resources and the mentors if you need a mentor, and just practice. And the doors will start to open up for you.
Totally agree. And I feel like not enough of us understand that failure is a part of success.
Absolutely.
Like, they're not two different things. And that took me a long time to learn. Like, I'm 44 years old. I just learned that not too long ago. It took me a long time to get there. But I think if we keep that in mind, you're going to fail. Maybe you're going to fall down. Yes. Maybe you're going to have days where you don't feel at your best. Maybe. But that's all part of it. It's not this perfect, smooth process. I don't think it ever is.
No, right. I had to learn. I failed a lot, and I still continue to fail. And I have learned to embrace that, because it's in those, what I think are failed moments, that I also have those aha moments. Oh,
those are big.
That's how that works. Oh, I could do it this way instead of doing it that way. And it's not necessarily a mistake or failure. It's a different way to do it. And even what I have found is that later on, what I thought was a failure was actually a lesson that became very important to me at a later date, that I went back and thought, I remember when I tried to do this and I completely bombed it. But now I can put that to use, and I can rework that. And I know what's not going to work. And now I know what does work. But I use that lesson to catapult me to that situation or to that new experience. So great advice that someone ever gave me: keep failing, keep going, keep failing, just keep trying.
Yeah,
fail forward.
I think it's important to be flexible too, and to not be stubborn in your, what am I trying to say? So like if I put something into place, or I try something new in my business, or I'm moving forward and I'm growing, and I realize, hey, this isn't really working kind of how I intended it to work, or this system that I set up isn't really doing what I wanted it to do. I feel like it's important to not be stubborn in the fact that, no, this is what I intended to do, and I'm just going to see it through. But understand that it's a constant moving target, and you may need to pivot a couple times a day. In some cases, as you're perfecting systems, as you're getting started and really getting your groove on. Have you realized that with your clientele?
Yes, I have. Definitely. There's a lot of things that just lessons, things that I did previously that I had to learn and rework, I improved on. And then again, things that I went back and went, that was a really good idea. I thought that I failed. I just needed to rework it. I was onto something, but before I pushed myself through, I kind of threw my hands in the air and said, oh, that's not going to work. I gave up on myself telling myself, this is a disaster. I'm not going to go through it. And had I just pushed a little bit more or went a little bit deeper on that, I would have found that success that I was looking for.
Yeah, totally agree. It's almost like, that old saying about the daisy about to push up through the dirt, and most people quit right before the daisy pops up. I don't know. I'm totally butchering it, but you know what I mean.
No, keep watering your garden. Absolutely. Keep watering your garden. I mean, we have to plant the seeds. We need time for the gestation, and we need to allow that flower to grow. And I'm that person that will sit and wait for that first sprout and look, how about today? Today, still nothing. And then all of a sudden, when we take our mind off of it, all of a sudden, there it is.
It pops.
That
is so true. And I can't even count, I don't have enough fingers and toes to count how many times that has happened in my world and in my business journey, where I'm like, okay, I'm just not going to put attention to it. I'm just not going to freak out about this particular thing. And it all of a sudden resolves itself. It's really strange.
It's pretty magical.
Yeah, it's totally magical. So getting over that hump, is this something that your company helps with when, let's just say I want to do furniture refinishing? I really love to do that. Truly, I do. And I want to move from, maybe I refinish my neighbor's table once, or I do some work for some friends, but I really want to move that into, something that's a little bit more frequent. What's that hump? What's that jump look like?
Okay. Well, if you are still kind of in uncertainty mode, or you're not sure, should I get a business license? Should I just kind of test the waters a little bit? I would say expand your creativity and start reaching out to, say, for instance, with furniture. If you have a friend that says, oh, I just bought this at a yard sale, and I think that it has great potential, and they ask you, you think you could help me with it? Then an example would be that you help her with that, and in return, she leaves you a good review. Or she shares the information, whether you provided a service for her or you did it as a favor. Take before and after photos and start building an online portfolio and start showcasing your work. But ask for people to give you recommendations, referrals, and reviews. So people that don't know you can start to see your work, and then they get to hear from other people how satisfied they were with your work. And from there, you can start to build rapport.
That's an incredible idea. Sorry to interrupt you, but you just blew my mind. Keep going.
Yeah, so you get to get more exposure, because then they start to tell their friends and their family, and they post on their social media the work that you did for them. They're so excited. Somebody else will see it. They get excited because they go, I have a piece of furniture just like that. I love what she did. And so you create this ripple effect without you having to put out money to market yourself. And you don't have to, necessarily broadcast, I'm starting a new business. Right. And it's a way for you to also test the waters to see what the response is and what people are looking for. Because then what will also happen is that you'll find that someone will ask, hey, do you also do coffee tables? Hey, do you also do furniture? Hey, do you work with metal? I was curious about this. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you, again, you start to build community, you start to gain sales, and you get exposure and credibility.
That's such a great idea. And now you said something in the beginning of that I know created a bunch of anxiety for some of our audience members. And that was, do I get a business license? So I'm sure it depends on the industry and what you're doing. But before I help a friend and then start marketing myself and asking her to do the reviews, which is brilliant, do I need a business license? Like, what do I need in place so that I don't get in trouble?
Okay. So you want to check with your state, but I checked last night just to be double check, because there is a fine line. There are some hobbies that you don't necessarily want to make a business out of. If you are not interested in turning profit on it, if it's something that you just do for fun and you're not really selling anything, I would stay with that being kind of a side project or a hobby or something that you do, for this seasonal work. But if you find yourself that you have dedicated a full room to your hobby and you're doing things for friends and it's become continuous and you have supplies and you're putting more money into your hobby than you're getting back, you could really be reaping the benefits of tax write-offs and money coming back into your pocket for what you consider a hobby. It could be a business. And I believe that the cutoff is right around, if you make more than $400 or $500 in your hobby business, then the government wants to see some type of taxes, but you don't necessarily have to file that. Again, I would check with your
CPA,
state to confirm that. But you could be earning back in your pocket money to help sustain your hobby. If you are spending a lot of money on supplies, say you make t-shirts or you do coffee mugs, there's a lot of acrylic and paint and machines that go into all of that you could be receiving money back every year.
And I think that's where that fear kind of comes in for people too, is they're just not sure. Well, I don't want to get in trouble. I want to make sure I do the right thing. As far as taxes are concerned, I want to make sure that I'm not selling without a license. If I need one, do I need one? And I think that kind of, it just paralyzes people sometimes.
Sure. I always like to tell people, give yourself about a year. If you start to see continuous profit in that year, moving into the second year, and you think, you know what, I think I want to move forward with this. Things are starting to progress. Then I would start to explore the idea of getting a license. But before then, if you're just curious, you're testing the waters, then there's no need for you to run off and get a license, because there's additional fees. If you're not ready to pay for all the extra additional fees for having a business license, you don't want to start to pay all that unnecessarily when you're just trying to figure out what your niche is, or is this going to be long-term, or is this something I just wanted to try to see how it goes?
Right. No, I think that is awesome advice, and I really appreciate that. Well, we're like out of time, and it happened so fast.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I have so many more questions for you. I'd love to have you back on to kind of dive a little bit deeper into.
I would love it. I would love it.
But before we go, could you just briefly kind of give a little idea of how or what your business does and how it helps new entrepreneurs, and when is a good time for somebody that is considering becoming an entrepreneur? When is it a good time to get in touch with you? Like, is there a too early?
There's never too early.
Okay.
Whenever you're interested or you have an idea, like I said, I set up their free 30-minute called chat sessions. And we sit and we have coffee or lemonade, and we kind of just talk about what your ideas and passions are. And I kind of guide you through what you could do next and give you some time to explore on your own what could happen next. And so my company is called I Create Me, and I help with personal branding and business development. So whether you are trying to be a personal brand yourself, as a coach, maybe you want to teach sewing, you could be a teacher. You don't necessarily have to sell the product. Or if you sell soaps and you're creative at making jewelry, I could help you bring that to fruition and then guide you through all of the steps and the tools that you would need from concept to creation, all the way to building that business out. And I have created a couple of guides that will teach you how to launch and scale. And I go through all of the methods of creating a business plan and knowing what legal forms you would need, so you're not surprised like I was surprised. And then I help you figure out your mission statement and your vision statement. And if you were to pick a niche that you think, oh my gosh, the market is saturated with that, there's always a need for something new. And what I like to tell people is that no one has done it like you can do it. Even if you think that the market is saturated, you are the special sauce. Right. So find a way to tap into that. And if you need anything at all, it's never too late. Even if you're just curious, I love to just kind of explore the imagination and get the ball rolling for you. And you can decide where you want to take it. And whenever you have more questions, you can reach out to me in your time frame.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. And so I have linked your Facebook page with the show notes. That's what's there right now.
Okay.
What is the best way to get in touch with you?
So you can reach me through my Facebook, and it's connected to my business page. I Create Me is also on Facebook, or you can email me directly at diana@icreate.me, which is Diana@ICRE8.
Like the numeral.
.me.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for being with us. And we hope to see you on our schedule again, because I feel like we need to dive a little bit deeper in this whole becoming an entrepreneur thing. I know there are so many moms that are loving this content right now, or going to be watching the replay and going to be loving it in the future. So thank you.
I'm excited that. Thank you for being here. And I look forward, and I encourage you to step outside and chase your dream. You're worth it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on.
I totally agree. I'm so on that page with you. Oh my gosh. And everybody, audience members, MOMnation members, everyone listening, hop over to our YouTube channel. That is where you can connect with the playlist for the Live and Learn. And remember, at the beginning of the show, I said we have like 1,000. Okay, it's not that much, but it's close. So go and check out all of our previous episodes. We have a bunch of other shows on there, guys. It's at MOMnation USA is our handle on YouTube. If you are more of the podcast type, you prefer maybe run a lot, bike a lot, hike a lot, you prefer it in the earbuds or your headphones, then hop over to your favorite podcast platform and do a quick search for MOMnation Talk Radio. That'll get you to our channel and all of our shows and content. Thank you so much, Diana.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.